Hey friends, happy Tuesday, the 14th of January. It's nice to be with you. I'm Father Bill Hill, priest at Holy Spirit Catholic Community in Rock Springs, Wyoming. I'll share with you a reflection on the daily readings. The readings are linked below. Click the link, read the readings prayerfully, and then turn off the screen. Spend some time with God before you move on to other things. You recognize we are back in Ordinary Time. Green, it is Tuesday of the first week of Ordinary Time. Thanks to our art and environment folks for keeping us beautiful during the time of Christmas and helping us now to observe the change in the seasons as we move into numbered time. We're working on the letter to the Hebrews and the beginning of the public ministry in in Mark's Gospel of Jesus's ministry. Letter to the Hebrews. We hear a couple of lines here, the middle and towards the end, that speak to us of Jesus and his suffering. And we're going to pick this up a fair amount. The suffering of Jesus, the high priesthood of Jesus, the sacrifice of Jesus. That's a major theme of this letter. And so in the middle of this we hear, but we do see Jesus crowned with glory and honor because he suffered death. And then towards the end, for it was fitting that he, for whom and through whom all things exist, in bringing many children to glory, should make the leader to their salvation perfect through suffering. Most of us, and I'm making myself chief of that, do not like to suffer. When there is suffering in our life, we think, what did I do to deserve this? How do I get done with this? How do I avoid this? And sometimes, which is good, right? That's a great reaction to have, but sometimes suffering is itself an experience of life that we cannot avoid and we cannot fix always. Just invite us perhaps to reflect on that question of where's the suffering in my life and how's the Lord inviting me to address it? Perhaps by seeking out root causes and addressing them and changing it. Perhaps by asking the Lord for healing, for grace, for change. But perhaps also for that grace of endurance and acceptance and communion with Christ in the midst of the suffering and the pain of this life. Okay, Mark's Gospel. Over the course of this year, but even these next weeks as we walk through these synoptic Gospels, Mark and then Matthew and then Luke, we're going to hear many healings and exorcisms of Jesus. It's easy to, okay, so here we go. We have an exorcism of Jesus. This is the first in Mark's Gospel, right? The Holy One of God, the demons call him. Jesus commands them to be silent and to come out of the people that they have afflicted. And people are astonished at Jesus, for he teaches as one with authority. What part of the message of Jesus are we struggling to accept these days? What is it that if we could have a conversation with Jesus, we might say, Lord, if you could just kind of let go a little bit of this or that might be helpful. Just invite you to sit with the Lord and to see where it is that Jesus challenges you today, where Jesus astonishes you today. Let's never grow weary or complacent or bored with the message of Jesus, ever ancient, ever new, always inviting us into deeper and deeper life. All right, friends, read those readings prayerfully. Turn off the screen. Spend some time with God before you move on to other things. Pray for folks having a hard time. God bless y'all.